The Batman Who Laughs. Introduced in Dark Knight's Metal 2 in 2017, this evil variant comes from Earth 22, a world in the Dark Multiverse where Batman loses his final battle against the Joker, not physically but mentally. What emerges is a Batman with the intellect, strategy, and combat skills of the Dark Knight, combined with the sadistic insanity and unpredictability of the Joker. In this reality, the Joker finally breaks Batman by launching a final attack on Gotham, poisoning hospitals and forcing Batman to watch as he brutally murders innocent families in front of their children. But the worst part comes when Joker releases a modified Joker toxin into the air, infecting Bruce as he kills Joker with his bare hands. As the toxin seeps into his mind, Batman slowly loses his humanity, and within days, Bruce becomes the very thing he spent his life fighting. Once truly transformed, the Batman Who Laughs slaughters the Bat family, including Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl, ensuring that no one can stop him. He then wipes out the entire Justice League in the most twisted ways possible. But he doesn't stop there. He poisons and corrupts his own Robins, turning them into feral, Jokerized creatures called the Rabid Robins, making them his loyal servants. The Batman Who Laughs believes that the only true way to win is to corrupt everything, turning order into chaos and bending every hero to his twisted ideology. And when Barbatos, the dark god of the Dark Multiverse, begins his invasion of the main DC universe, the Batman Who Laughs becomes his most valuable general, leading an army of evil Batman from across the multiverse. Together, they spread darkness and destruction across the multiverse. But the Batman Who Laughs is more than just a servant of Barbatos. He is his own mastermind, always several steps ahead of even the darkest gods. And his most ambitious plot comes in The Batman Who Laughs in 2018, where he infects the main DC universe's Bruce Wayne with Joker toxin, attempting to create another version of himself in the core DC reality. And later in Dark Knight's Death Metal, he transcends into the Darkest Knight, absorbing the power of Dr. Manhattan, making him a nearly omnipotent cosmic force of destruction. He is Batman's worst-case scenario. He is the deadliest and most disturbing version of Batman ever created. A villain who thinks like Batman, fights like Batman, but has none of his restraint or humanity. Ultraman. An evil variant of Superman, serving as the leader of the crime syndicate. An alternate reality version of the Justice League where all the heroes are actually villains. First introduced in Justice League of America 29 in 1964, Ultraman is from Earth 3, a world where evil always triumphs over good, and the crime syndicate rules with absolute power. Ultraman is a brutal conqueror, shaped by a world where strength and dominance are the only laws that matter, and in most versions, he retains all of Superman's powers. He possesses superhuman strength and speed, flight and invulnerability, heat vision and freeze breath, but unlike Superman, Ultraman is strengthened by kryptonite, rather than weakened by it, and exposure to it supercharges his abilities, making him even more dangerous. Ultraman sees himself as Earth's ruler, controlling the planet through fear. He operates as a tyrant, crushing anyone who dares oppose him. He sees compassion as weakness, and his version of justice is absolute control, ensuring that no one can ever rise against him. Ultraman has clashed with the main Justice League multiple times, often seeking to expand his rule beyond Earth 3. However, because Earth 3 follows the law of reverse morality, where evil always wins, the crime syndicate's biggest threats are not heroes, but other stronger villains. And one of his greatest enemies is Alexander Luthor, Earth 3's only true hero, who leads the resistance against the crime syndicate's rule. And in Forever Evil 2013, he destroys the White House, proclaims himself as Earth's supreme ruler, and tortures and humiliates heroes just for his own amusement. And his arrogance, sadism, and thirst for domination make him a perfect dark reflection of Superman, showing what the Man of Steel would be if he used his power to enslave rather than inspire. And ultimately, if Superman is the ultimate symbol of hope, then Ultraman is the ultimate nightmare. Superwoman. She is the evil counterpart of Wonder Woman from Earth 3. First appearing in Justice League of America 29 in 1964, she is one of the most sadistic and manipulative members of the crime syndicate, a stark contrast to the noble and honorable Diana of Themyscira from the main DC universe. Wonder Woman fights for justice, equality, and peace, and Superwoman is power-hungry, violent, and thrives on domination, an Amazon who rejected everything Wonder Woman stands for, and instead embraces her darker instincts. She rules through fear and manipulation, using her godlike strength only to control and destroy. As an Amazon, she is already immensely strong, but she holds nothing back in battle. She can fly at incredible speeds, and unlike Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, which compels people to reveal the truth, Superwoman's lasso forces absolute obedience, allowing her to control or even mentally break her victims, and she uses manipulation, seduction, and betrayal to get what she wants. often pitching her own allies against each other. And in many versions of her story, she is in a twisted love triangle between Ultraman and Owlman, the evil Batman. And rather than being truly loyal to either, she plays them against each other, using their rivalry to gain even more power and influence. So Ultraman rules through brute force, Owlman uses strategy, and Superwoman is a true mastermind behind the crime syndicate, pulling the strings in the shadows, ensuring that she always benefits no matter who wins their endless power struggle. So you get it, Wonder Woman seeks to inspire, and Superwoman seeks to corrupt, using violence, seduction, and terror to bend the world to her will. And she enjoys being evil. She doesn't see herself as misunderstood or lost. She fully embraces her own cruelty and ambition. King Shazam, an evil version of Billy Batson, aka Shazam, in the Dark Multiverse. Introduced in the infected King Shazam 1 in 2019, he is a version of Billy who has been infected by the evil essence of the Batman who laughs. In the main DC universe, Billy Batson is a young, pure-hearted boy chosen by the wizard Shazam to wield the power of 6 mythological gods, transforming him into a mighty superhero whenever he speaks the word Shazam. But in the Dark Multiverse, Billy falls victim to the Jokerized influence of the Batman who laughs, and instead of being a hero, Billy embraces power and destruction, becoming an unstoppable tyrant fueled by both magic and rage. And his powers are enhanced beyond normal Shazam levels, as he has superhuman strength and durability, lightning manipulation, flight and speed, as he can move at near light speeds, and unlike normal Shazam, his magic is tainted, infecting those he strikes and twisting them to his will. King Shazam believes that power is the only law, and those who oppose him should be obliterated, and his madness leads him to seek out and destroy other gods, proving himself as the only true champion. In the infected storyline, King Shazam goes on a rampage, hunting down and defeating the Olympian gods themselves, showing that his power is no longer just divine, it's beyond divine. And in many ways, he is a darker version of Black Adam, but even Black Adam fights with some form of order and honor. Parallax Hal Jordan. He is one of the most tragic and terrifying evil transformations in DC Comics, turning one of its greatest heroes into one of its deadliest threats. Parallax is Hal Jordan himself, corrupted by grief, rage, and an overwhelming cosmic power. First appearing in Green Lantern 50 in 1994, this version of Hal Jordan represents the darkest moment in the history of the Green Lantern Corps. The transformation began with the destruction of Coast City, his home, which was annihilated by Mongol and cyborg Superman during Reign of the Superman in 1993. The loss of 7 million innocent lives, including people Hal had personally known and loved, shattered him emotionally, and when he turned to the Guardians of the Universe for help, they coldly dismissed his grief, expecting him to continue serving as a Green Lantern without question, and this indifference pushed Hal into a psychological breaking point, as he began questioning everything he had fought for. Desperate to restore what he had lost, Hal attempted to use his Green Lantern ring's power to recreate Coast City, but the Guardians forbade him, fearing he would disrupt universal balance. Enraged, Hal snapped, traveling to Oa, the home of the Green Lantern Corps, and slaughtering his fellow Lanterns one by one, draining their rings to increase his own power. He even killed Kilowog, one of his closest allies, before absorbing the power of the Central Power Battery itself, transforming into Parallax. As Parallax, his abilities surpassed anything a normal Lantern could achieve. Without the traditional limits of a Lantern ring, he had godlike power, capable of wrapping reality, rewriting time, and destroying entire star systems with a thought. However, what made him truly terrifying was that he still retained all of his intelligence, strategic genius, and leadership skills. Parallax did not see himself as a villain. He believed that the Guardians had failed the universe, and that only he had the vision and strength to remake reality into something better. He sought to rewrite existence itself, manipulating events during Zero Hour, Crisis in Time in 1994, where he attempted to erase and recreate the DC timeline in his own image. And despite his immense power, Hal Jordan's downfall came from the very thing that made him strong, his own sense of heroism. Deep down, he never fully let go of who he once was. This was proven in the final night in 1996, when a cosmic entity known as the Sun Eater threatened to destroy the sun, dooming Earth. In a final act of redemption, Hal sacrificed himself, reigniting the sun and saving the world, ending his reign as Parallax. Years later, it was revealed that Parallax was not just a name, but a living entity, an ancient being of pure fear that had infected Hal's mind. This revelation, introduced in Green Lantern Rebirth in 2004, allowed Hal Jordan to return as a hero, now understanding that he had been manipulated by a cosmic force beyond his control. Dick Grayson, the Vampire King. This version of Dick Grayson appears in DC vs. Empire in 2021, a storyline where vampires secretly infiltrate the DC universe, leading to an all-out war between heroes and the undead. And this Dick Grayson succumbs to vampirism and rises as the ultimate predator, the king of the vampires. So in the storyline, vampires led by Mary, Queen of Blood, realize that their existence is threatened by Earth's heroes and begin a covert takeover of the world. But unlike past vampire invasions, which relied on brute force, this plan is more strategic, involving slowly infecting key figures within the Justice League and manipulating the heroes against each other. One of the most shocking twists comes when it is revealed that Dick Grayson was turned into a vampire early in the invasion and secretly took over the leadership of the undead. He manages to betray the Bat family and outmaneuver the Justice League, ensuring the vampires' total domination over Earth. As the Vampire King, Grayson is no longer just a highly skilled acrobat and fighter. He is now a supernatural force, capable of taking down entire heroes single-handedly, and his new abilities include superhuman strength and speed, far stronger and faster than any human, capable of outmatching even the most powerful metahumans in battle, immortality and regeneration, hypnosis and mind control, bat-like flight and reflexes, and like all vampires, he is vulnerable to sunlight, holy weapons, and certain forms of magic, though he has learned to manipulate shadows to his advantage. And one of the most devastating aspects of this storyline is Dick Grayson's betrayal of Batman and the Bat family. Bruce Wayne always considered Nightwing to be his greatest success, his true heir, the son he never had. But in DC vs. Vampires, that trust is shattered when Dick personally kills Batman. And beyond Batman, Dick hunts down and converts or kills many of his closest allies, turning former heroes into soldiers of the vampire army. And despite their best efforts, the few remaining members of the Justice League and the Suicide Squad struggle to stop him, knowing that they are fighting not just a monster, but one of their own. Sea King. He is the evil counterpart of Aquaman from Earth 3. He is a ruthless conqueror, using his strength to dominate both land and ocean. His origins vary, but like most Crime Syndicate members, he is the inverse of his heroic counterpart, meaning that instead of uniting Atlantis and humanity, he seeks to enslave or eradicate anyone who stands in his way. He does not negotiate with surface dwellers, he drowns them. His powers include superhuman strength and durability, underwater adaptation, enhanced speed and agility, and while Aquaman communicates with marine life to seek aid, Sea King forces them to obey, making sharks, krakens, and other creatures his monstrous attack hounds. And he wields a corrupted trident that can channel energy blasts and pierce through even the strongest defenses. One of the strangest elements of Sea King's story is that he was mysteriously absent during the Crime Syndicate's first major invasion of Earth Prime in Forever Evil 2013. So when the Crime Syndicate arrived to conquer Earth, Sea King's body washed up dead, implying that something or someone had killed him before he could take part in the invasion. The Sea King reappears in Justice League Dark with no memories of his past. Filled with an uncontrollable rage, he finds himself up against John Constantine, Swamp Thing, and Nightmare Nurse. Attempting to swallow them with an ocean wave powered by the spirits of Nanomadol, Sea King is dropped by a mystical, severing spell, and it is revealed that Justice League Dark member, Deadman, had jumped into Sea King's deceased corpse after the Syndicate's assault, and due to the King's echoing traces of evil, Deadman lost control of the body and fell prey to an amnesiac state. Using his magics, Constantine has cleared out all remnants of the Sea King's psyche, but has also trapped Deadman within the King's body as part of his endgame against Blight. Anyway, while Aquaman struggles to balance his duty to Atlantis with his desire for peace, Sea King sees no need for balance, only dominance. Sea King ensures that no one, not even the gods of the sea, can challenge his reign. Black Flash. Unlike other evil variants of heroes who are corrupted versions of themselves, Black Flash is not just an evil version of the Flash, it is the literal personification of death for speedsters, ensuring that no speedster can outrun their ultimate fate. Black Flash first appeared in The Flash 138 in 1998. It operates much like the Grim Reaper, appearing whenever a speedster is about to die, collecting their souls and returning them to the Speed Force. And unlike normal death, which takes all beings, Black Flash specifically targets those connected to the Speed Force. It is an entity of the Speed Force itself, meaning it can travel at infinite speeds and match any speedster step for step. It exists outside of time, allowing it to appear at any moment in the past, present, or future, to claim its victim. And as a force of nature, Black Flash cannot be destroyed. It always returns, even if defeated, temporarily. And when it catches its target, a single touch can strip them of their life force, effectively returning them to the Speed Force. And unlike other versions of Death in the DC universe, such as Necron or the Black Racer, Black Flash does not serve a moral or emotional purpose. It does not kill out of malice or vengeance, it is merely an enforcer of natural law, ensuring that no speedster lives forever. And throughout DC Comics history, Black Flash has been responsible for the deaths of several major speedsters. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry Allen was seemingly taken by the Speed Force, a moment later retconned to be Black Flash reclaiming him. And when Wally temporarily disappeared into the Speed Force, it was Black Flash who tried to claim him, and Barge Allen encountered Black Flash before his temporary death, reinforcing the idea that all speedsters must eventually face it. And despite its role as a force of nature rather than a supervillain, Black Flash is still feared by all speedsters, because it cannot be reasoned with or outrun forever. It is inevitable, a reminder that death is always watching, waiting for the moment when even the fastest beings in existence must finally stop running.